the most important thing that happened today, in my opinion. Now, there's other stuff that we need to talk about because there's good stuff that happened today. There is. But this, to me, is the most important part of today. All right, so they've just had the judge watch this drone footage. I think it's right around here. Let's see.
I do not believe that Mr. Rosenbaum does not give up the ability to be provoked because he may have said things an hour earlier.
Binger whispered to him an hour earlier. First of all, this is not the point. It's coming up, but Krause's argument here is silly. Rosenbaum's state of mind isn't actually relevant. Rosenbaum's state of mind is not relevant to this case, and that's Rosenbaum having the belief that he can defend Zeminski against Kyle isn't relevant. The relevant question is, did Kyle do an act sufficient to provoke Rosenbaum? Now, him unjustifiably pointing a gun at Zeminski might be a provocative act. Of course, we know, you guys know, I know, Kyle didn't point the gun at Zeminski. It literally doesn't happen. We've watched it from all other angles. The gun doesn't come up. He does not raise the gun. The gun does not level at Zeminski. There is no actual evidence that shows that gun pointing at Zeminski. And the only evidence that they've been able to present is this grainy ass drone footage. And they can't even tell, they couldn't even tell the judge where Zeminski was standing. How can you say he raised a gun and pointed it at someone if you can't fucking articulate where the person is? It's impossible. And why this doesn't get said is possibly, I shouldn't say this, it's not possibly malpractice. It's a fuck up, but it's probably not malpractice.
If this individual, now remember, there is evidence in the record that
is this it or am I past it? Hold on.
At someone for provocation.
Yellow pants guy argument is a complete red herring, because even if he, again, even if he had provoked yellow pants guy at some point earlier in the night, that does not transfer the provocation to now. So it's ludicrous. However, this is the danger of the provocation instruction. They'll get to argue that it does matter, even if it shouldn't.
Even if he had threatened, he had no means to carry out his threat. So, as you said, it's a great argument.
Yeah, Rosenbaum doesn't have the means to kill Kyle. That's what they literally just said. Think about that. Even if he had threatened him, he doesn't have the means to carry out his threat. He's unarmed. How do you even kill someone without a gun? That's only an AR-15 could kill someone. Kyle Rittenhouse knows this, apparently.
There's evidence in the record, not just by video, also by testimony, and there's enough evidence to give this instruction. If the jury does not accept this argument, if we do not meet our burden, that probably is beneficial to the defense, but it should at least be argued as the evidence.
I think I'm past it, but this is important.
And it goes directly in contrast to what the defendant testified to.
Of course, fists can kill people. People get killed by fists all the time. That was the point. Sorry.
Judge, it's been hashed over.
Judge, it's been hashed over is not a response. That's Sheriff Easy. That is the failure of Sheriff Easy there. He's been great several places in the trial. This is a critical fumble, but that's not the moment I'm talking about. It's actually a little bit earlier. It's like right here. Sorry, I was just a bit past it. Jeff K says, "Arg, I was wrong. This is worse than AEW. Can you please assist Kyle with his retrial? This is beautiful or brutal." Isis Donikdom says, "I now completely believe Binger has a witch on his side that causes Richards to be lulled into pleasant daydreams during the trial. Backseat lawyering aside, it seems everyone but the defense is trying to save Kyle." Okay, I think it's here.
Mr. Rosenbaum had twice before threatened to kill the accused. So what is the legal effect of a person who, if he made such a threat, what legal justification does he have to chase after the accused in such a way as to not put the defendant into a position of being a provocateur?
We are absolutely not. We are not accepting the evidence that.
So, Judge, this is where the judge, by the way, is still kind of on their side. Okay, wait a minute. He's threatened to kill the defendant twice the night before. So what? How do we get away from the fact that he's threatened to kill the witness or the defendant? And that's in the record from testimony. The state is just going to say, we don't believe it. Who fucking cares what the state believes about it? We're not ready to accept it. I think Richards is coming up.
that threat was made because there are different accounts of where and when it was made. And it's like,
So what? It doesn't matter that you have two statements that it was made. Those statements are consistent, and you have provided nothing to rebut that evidence.
the only 5 seconds not caught on video all night.
Well, except that in the part where he raises his gun, apparently.
So, but like you said, Judge, it'll be a great argument. And I do not believe that Mr. Rosenbaum does not give up the ability to be provoked.
Did I? No, okay, so it's before this still. Fucking hell. This argument was long. It's right after the video, I think.
Place the fire extinguisher on the ground, although it will fall over, and then he will immediately raise his gun up and point it at the individuals who are over here, who I think are right now blocked by this street light.
Sorry, I should have checked this. But hey, the defense and the state aren't getting proper timestamps, so why should I bother?
See him lift it right there. He's holding it right there until Mr. Rosenbaum approaches. You see the very distinct motion of him raising his arms. You see the black gun being raised. One more time, please.
He hates black guns specifically.
He's doing it open to the camera.
Well,
So
you know what?
No, I did not say that.
it's okay.
And again, let me tell you what's going on in the judge's head right now. I don't even see Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what he's thinking. His judge is looking at this. This guy is pointing at the TV furiously. Binger's been doing the soy point today. All of that has happened. This judge, he still doesn't see it at this point. I guarantee you this judge, who's 150,000 years old, does not see what they're saying.
So here's the gun. Puts it down and
He
raises
definitely
it.
doesn't see a gun.
He still has it up right there, and then he drops it and runs. Would you like the slowed down version?
Yeah, please.
Slowed down version, please.
Yeah, you guys don't see it either. It's not there. It's not there. I'm not saying that the judge particularly doesn't see it. No one sees it. No one sees it because it isn't there.
So here's the defendant here. There's the AR-15 right there. Play it, please.
Again, look how much testimony he is doing about this. No one has actually testified to this except for a cop who said he saw it on pinch to zoom on his phone. That's it. A cop says, well, I saw it on pinch to zoom on my phone, therefore he did it. That's not an evidence. That's not an evidence at all. It's not been verified. It's not testable. It's not challengeable. It's not even repeatable. Didn't object, by the way. The defense did not object to that.
You guys are up right there. You see him bring it down, and you see him start to run. He's pointing it at Joshua Zeminski, who probably is vandalizing or committing arson, but that's another.
Where's Zeminski's gun?
We don't believe he has his gun out at that point.
Wait a minute.
He fires it. What, I'm sorry?
I said, where's Zeminski's gun? What I meant to say was, does it depict Mr. Zeminski's gun?
At this point, no, it does show him shooting in the air.
Oh, that's over later. Over there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about at this point.
I don't believe it
Of course, you can't see Zeminski's gun. You can't see Kyle's gun, and it's bigger.
shows Mr. Zeminski's gun.
Does it show Mr. Zeminski?
Can you play it again, Brian?
Let me make up where Zeminski is. I don't actually remember.
He's kind of
Or
hidden.
Mr. Zeminski?
They're kind of hidden by this light post.
Ah!
Yeah, because it's argument. What I inquired is,
They can't find them on the video that they're alleging a gun is being pointed at them.
well, wait. Okay, what I'm inquiring is whether what I'm looking at now depicts
Do you want to show them?
Mr. and or Mrs. Zeminski, and if Mr. Zeminski, whether or not it depicts the firearm that he is reported to have fired. Seconds later.
Where the Zeminskis are?
It's very hard to see them.
Oh.
They're dark against the dark Duramax. So.
We only
Oh, it's suddenly hard to see because it's dark against the dark, way off in the distance. And Kyle Rittenhouse is even farther back, holding a dark object in front of a dark object that's smaller than him and the Zeminskis.
they're there because the FBI video. You can kind of see they're blurry. We did not try to do any enhancements on that.
I mean, we know from the FBI video. We know from the FBI video, Your Honor, that they're in this proximity alongside the Duramax.
We know from one other video that they're here in this video that we're testifying to, that no one has testified to, but we're going to make this argument at close. That's what's going on here.
But because
They could have had an expert like John Black put together, they didn't do this. They could have had an expert put together the videos and show how they correlate, and they didn't. But they're going to be allowed to do this anyway.
Because they're darker clothed and the Duramax is a dark vehicle.
They could have obviously synced this up from the gunshots and gone back in time, forward in time, whatever they need to do.
Of course, other issues with the video, it's not, and there's poles and things, so they're in that vicinity.
They're in that vicinity. The vicinity behind the poles is 30 to 50 yards of ground. Where on that are they? On this three-dimensional surface we're looking at. And again, this is what John Black testifies to exactly. And the defense didn't ask him to do it.
If you play it, I think I can play it, please, Brian.
Troy JT, I am a criminal defense lawyer. I'm not a I've done one probate issue. I literally am a criminal defense lawyer.
I believe they're blocked by the light post, but they are right here.
I think this is one of them here. Moving. It's very hard to tell in this video.
But then they walk down this way, and this is where he pull. We don't accept the defendant's story that he had his gun out, because in the video you clearly see Mr. Zeminski pull it out of his pocket, fire it in the air, and then put it right back in his pocket. So unless he had the gun out and then put it in his pocket in these few feet, we're not accepting the defendant's story. That in fact we believe this contradicts his story that Mr. Zeminski had his gun already out, because you see on the next enhanced video, you see him pull it out of his pocket and fire it in the air quick and then put it down.
He keeps it down on his side. He's walking right down the sidewalk yelling, "That dude just shot somebody." You can see the gun clearly in his hand.
No.
Well, this sounds like a great argument. Did you want to make any observations?
Here comes.
Before I make a decision?
Well, you're going to see. You're going to see what you believe that you see. Okay. So the question is, does that video provide enough information to give an instruction on provocation?
No, Sheriff Fisi had it right there. Right there, Sheriff Fisi had it. He's right. Notice what happens right here. This is where it goes downhill. Let's go back 5 seconds, because I just started talking over it because I'm so fucking mad about this moment. He doesn't need to use the mic because the mic is for the benefit of the court reporter who's sitting right next to him. So he's like, she can hear me. That's why he doesn't use the mic. But here it goes.
To give an instruction on provocation.
And how does, if we take everything they've said as true, how does pointing a gun at Zeminski provoke Rosenbaum, who they say they don't know each other?
You're a fucking moron, Richards. You fucking moron. That lost the argument right there. Because of course, someone pointing a rifle at another person is a provoking act. It doesn't matter if you know them. Look, if I'm here and you're 5 feet that way and someone is triangular between us and points a gun at you and I shoot them because they provoked deadly force, of course I can do that. Of course that's provocative, you dumb fuck. What are you thinking? That lost the argument right there. That statement lost the biggest argument that they had all day. This argument's like a half hour to an hour long. Of course it's provocative to point a rifle at someone. Of course it is. I cannot believe he had not only the temerity, but the lack of sense to make that argument when Sheriff Fisi was winning. The judge just watched all that video. The judge already said, it looks like a blob to me. I don't see it. They're sitting there saying, we can't even point out where they are. Judge is sitting there. And then Richards goes, well, let's say that everything they say is true, Your Honor. Let's say everything that they say in the video is true, Your Honor. How is it provocation for my client to point a gun at Zeminski for Rosenbaum? My client also just shot up an orphanage, I think, Your Honor. Like, why would you say this? Why would you do that? Why? They're winning this argument. They had the judge on their side from the start. The judge says, I don't see it. I don't see it. The judge opened this line of questioning, this whole thing with, that's your evidence? I don't see it. I can't introduce this jury instruction without sufficient evidence. All you have to do is say, Your Honor, you said it before. You can't see it because no one can see it. It's not there. You can't include this instruction. The instruction by its nature is prejudicial, Your Honor, because it implants the idea that this provocative act might have occurred when we all can tell from the video. Their best video, they said, that you can't see it. I can't see it. No one in this room can see it. And let me tell you a secret, Your Honor, the state can't see it either.